Hi, it's Julia here, and today I thought I was going to take a quick look at the scroller box for November number 51. Here's a list of all the goodies you get in the box, and among that, the main thing is these 6 tubes of gouache from Daleroni. Now, a quick little disclaimer, I will be using these Pro Art Pro Lean Plus brushes because I detest the one we got. Yeah, so I'm not going to take part in like a scroller challenge. Just going to use the materials and hopefully have some fun. That is my idea anyway. So I've swatched out the colors and I'm just going to put them here on a palette. And yeah, then I used the pencil we got in the set. I really like it. It's a 3B and I'm working on Cadee handmade watercolor paper here. And that is a very textured, very soft paper, and having a bit of a higher B pencil makes a big difference if you want to sketch. Like the Cadee paper is like, it's a no for an H pencil. So yeah, I really like this one. I do tend to like the bit softer B pencils. I just like getting a bit more blackness, I suppose. So I know that the little note here says that the challenge is face of emotions, but sorry, not sorry, you know. I was really inspired. We have had some really pretty weather here. We have some snow and it just looks really lovely. So I thought I was going to take some inspiration from that and just make like a little winter landscape and see how much color I can get out of these 3 primaries and the portrait pink with white and black. I don't know if you can hear Albert, he's snoring, but yeah. So I'm sketching out very roughly inspired by our own little farm here, and what I wanted to have is I wanted to get a place for a sky so I can get a gradient in the sky. I also wanted houses so I can get some scale in there, and I wanted a few trees to frame it so we can get some like a foreground, middle ground and background here, and also make the opportunity to play more with how I'm going to play with the colors, because that is what I really want to get out of this. Is I want to see how many different tones and colors I can get from this gouache set. Now, if you're more experienced with gouache, of course you will have a lot. You will get much more out of it than I will. I do really like gouache, but I will never say I am a gouache artist. But I do really like it, and I like it, I think, for the same reasons I like watercolor. Watercolor is a very transparent medium, and that is what goes for watercolor. And I think that is why I like gouache, is that the watercolors, their main focus is being transparent, and gouache is that the opacity, and I really like the contrast in that. So yeah, so I'm just going to play with the colors here and see how much difference I can get, and I really want to make it look like I have a ton of different colors to my that I can choose from, but in reality I only have these 3 main colors with the option of making them lighter, darker and more desaturated with the white and black. Now the portrait pink is, I mean, yeah, would I have preferred a different color? Yes, of course. I mean, I know that this was supposed to be a face of emotions, that the set is to sort of painting portraits, and for that a portrait pink, I suppose that is a good option. I don't like it because I feel like this kind of color is so easy to mix, and I also feel like it is a bit like, okay, so every portrait needs portrait pink and it's like the lightest shade. I don't know, that is a whole thing, isn't it? I would have preferred to get a really nice deeper brown. Then again, I mostly paint stuff with brown, I suppose. But yeah, we have this, and I mean, I will use it because I have it, but it's not a color that I would have got out and bought. But yeah, I think that the tones we got is good. I think that the yellow and the red will lend themselves very well to this kind of portrait thing. And yeah, I like the blue. I prefer more warm blues, but then again, personal preference. It only thing is like I use the colors to get a lot of green, and yeah, I think the only thing I have to say is that many I see mix yellow and blue to get the green, and then they want it darker, so they mix in black. But I would suggest trying to mix a little bit of red into it instead. The black will desaturate the color and make it more gray, and that is what I have been using for the greens in the background to make it more desaturated. But if I want darker in the foreground, I tend to mix in more red just to get it a bit deeper in tone without losing the vibrancy. So that is just a quick tip. So try to test to mix in the complementary colors if you want a bit deeper shade of something. Yeah, I can't focus. He's snoring right under my feet. I'm sorry. So yeah, that is. But on the whole, I think like these colors, I have quite a lot of Daler-Rowney gouache. I really like them. I think they're really good quality gouache for the price. I think it's a really nice set, and if I didn't have any gouache, I would be thrilled. I think it's a really good beginner set. The white was very, very good. Now, to the other supplies in the box. The brush, in my opinion, is a joke. Yeah, I have never seen any more flimsy watercolor brush. Now, I, in all fairness, haven't tried it. I have seen others here on YouTube trying the brush and saying that they do like the actual brush, the head of the brush, but I can't even hold it. But then again, I am a bit of a brush snob, so there is that. But I think that is just like, yeah, oh no. The pen is good. The eraser, I mean, I did try it a little bit on the paper, but then again, like I said before, I'm using Cadee handmade paper, which is very, very soft. It does not like pressure or hard things or erasers. So yeah, the papers are thin. I haven't tried it, but I feel like I have actually decided to unsubscribe from my scrawler box. I think the scrawler box are really fun, but I am very much I think it's a very big variety in what you get in the boxes in terms of value. I really like that you get different mediums, but I would have liked if it was a bit more consistent. I mean, here we get 6 pieces or 6 tubes of 15 milliliter gouache. I think that is amazing. And then other times we get 3 pens, and I'm like, what? And especially these like the fine liners that are supposed to shift in colors, and I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. So yeah, I think it's a really fun idea to really like challenge your creativity, and I do think it's a really good idea. But also, when we see that there are other subscription boxes crawling into the market, I feel like Scrawlerbox really needs to step up their game and do something about this, because if they want to stay in the game, I think they need to step up here. Now, this is a very good box, but yeah, well, that is just my opinion. Like I said, I have unsubscribed, so yeah. Maybe I will subscribe later on. I have also looked into a few others. I haven't decided quite yet. I think I will take a recheck after all of the craziness in the holidays, because I feel like the last few boxes I have opened, I have looked at them, and then I have swatched them and then put them aside because I'm so uninspired, or I feel like the items doesn't really do it for me. Now, I am one who really likes to play around with different art supplies, so that is a bit sad. And yeah, but I do really like this box. I have to say, I think it's a very good value, and I don't have any of these colors before, but I have several Daleroni designer gouache, I should say. It's not the aquafine, it's the designer one, but I really like the quality. So yeah, that is my thought on it. I felt like I just needed to vent a bit, but yeah, I had really good fun painting this painting. I just sat down and enjoyed a very quiet night with a little puppy by my side. um, so yeah, it was really nice, and just getting that sort of, you know how it is when you feel like, oh, I really want to paint this, and you go and thinking about it for several days. It's really nice just to finally do it. And I do really like it that it sort of prompts you to sit down and just do something. So yeah, but yeah, I really hope that they can keep up, because I feel like scroller box is a very good idea. Oh, and also one thing, 2 sheets of paper. Really? I mean, I know it's mostly about the art supplies, but I do feel like, firstly, like, only 2 sheets of paper, it's a bit cheap, I feel anyway. And then also, I feel like they're doing like a disservice to the papers that they add in, because the paper doesn't really get their due. I would have liked the paper. I have several times got the papers and there have been smudges on them or creased, and I just feel like pop them into an envelope or something just to keep them safe, and then also like lift up the paper. I mean, a paper can lift an artwork. I mean, especially now I come from a watercolor standpoint, and paper is the number one thing. Of course, watercolors and brushes are important, but it is 9 times out of 10 it's the paper that determines how well it's going to go. And I just feel like they should give more to the paper. Okay, that is my last thing. I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have liked this video, and yeah, what are your thoughts about this scroller box? I would really like to know. Yeah, leave that in the comments below. I sound like a proper YouTuber. Okay, bye.